So he sits down and he goes around the room and starts with Shane. He goes, Shane, he goes, you're one of the best in the game right now. You're an up and comer. You're hanging with the big boys now. You're a great ball player. You had a great season, but this weekend, just this week at the IC, just didn't go your way. We were hoping for a little bit better, but just didn't, hit balls weren't falling in, yada, yada. It just didn't go your way, right? Gets to Bradley Isago. Bradley, well, you're the best in the world. He said, you had a great week, so keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Then he gets to Lolly. And he goes, Lolly, it just you were for many years you were one of the best hitters in the world. He said, but this week they were walking batters to get you. He said, he said, it was not a great week by no stretch. He said things got to change here, and they got to change in the upcoming season, right? Yeah. Then he gets to me. He goes, Jason. He goes, I strongly think you should consider retirement. He said.
But I'm unhappy now. For courting 6 girls all at once they use me.
Bye baseball.
My mother said it was naughty. I should place but I said if it's naughty, sure it's also very fine.
And the Lolly drops his glove, grabs Dalton. The benches are clearing.
Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly is brought to you by CoolBet. If you got a few extra bucks rattling around in your arse pocket, CoolBet Sportsbook will double your first deposit up to $200 when you use the bonus code DUSTUP. Head over to coolbet.com and get in on the fastest growing entertainment sector in the world. That bonus code again is DUSTUP, one word, all capital letters, DUSTUP. Welcome back, folks. Episode 23 of Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. And Hilly, it's that time of year again, buddy. June 1st, the season is on the horizon. Can't wait to get going in 3 weeks, and can't wait to talk to you about the upcoming season and go through everything with a special guest we got with Shane Boland here tonight.
Yeah, you talk about the excitement. I know one guy who's really pumped. A little fella up in Labrador right now. He's a leader of our Chiefs team. He's a leader of our national team, leader of our Newfoundland team, and he got more stories than we probably got time for tonight.
Yeah, he's a special guy. I can't wait to have our listeners see the side of him that we get to see week in, week out, all the things that go on behind the scenes. He's just a true beauty to play with, one of the premier players in the world. Let's get right to him. Shane Boland. Hilly, cops are here. Breaking cops are here. Look at them.
Hide the beer down.
Yeah, look at them. Sarge, Shane Boland, what's happening, buddy?
What's on the go, boys? If you don't fucking whack me, put your hands up. I'll tell you right
now. There he is, coming in hot, Hilly, like we expected. What?
How's life up in Labrador, buddy? You got any signs of summer up there yet, or are you still shoveling snow?
No, but I just got in from outdoors here now. I just built me igloo there now for the summer. So,
well, it's no joke. I just got out of the pool. Mom and Dad are up. Yeah, out with Teddy, 32 degrees. And you're up there building igloos. Wicked.
No, it's about, I don't know, I'd say 5 degrees in sun there now. It's still frost in the air, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. No snow up there now, though. Surely not.
No, it's all gone now.
Yeah. Wicked. Well, we had John Stewart on last week, and he was talking about the travel plans down to Argentina. We won't go through all the, repeat all the stories, but you had, what happened to you trying to get down there?
Yeah, we won't get too much into that one because I'll have to have a chat with Mike on that one. But I flew solo. Boys don't give a fuck, right? I may as well. I should have took the bus from Wildbush right down there for fuck's sake. Yeah. No, I just moseyed down there by myself. But that's all. No big deal. Yeah.
Wake up. You have a good trip though, or we went through all the tournament and all that, but what was trip like for you? What did you take away from it, more importantly, now that you're back?
I'm really happy I was able to get the time off to go, to be honest. I mean, coming off COVID and stuff like that, I mean, we all had a boatload of annual leave to use, but lots of people are trying to get it. But my experience from it was really good, actually. It was nice to see, all the boys down there and our team together, especially, coming off, how was it? How many years was it now? 2.5 since we played with Team Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we done a great showing. I think camaraderie was really good. I think we gelled as a team. We had some ups, had some downs, but I mean, we came second. We haven't played a game. All these teams are mid-season, so I thought, like I was saying to the boys down there, Hilly and Brad, for example, but we like to take the positives out of it. I don't like to draw on the negatives, just because we're building to one ultimate goal, as you boys know. So I thought it was excellent, to be honest. So nothing but positives for me.
It was just nice outside of the actual physical travel part, because it was, 2 days there, 2 days back. But it was just nice to get out and play some competitive ball with the boys, right? Kind of got our feet wet for this upcoming season here now, because we're only 3 weeks away, I guess, from our first tournament in Simcoe.
Well, that's it, right? June 1st today, boys, we're recording this. June 1st, beautiful in Ontario. And, once you get under that 1 month mark, right, to when the season starts, everything starts to ramp up. The excitement, the prep, all the text messages and everything, everyone's getting back on the same page, geared up, getting ready for the boys to come over from wherever they are in the world, Aussie, New Zealand, Argentina, Mexico. We're all going to meet up here in 3 weeks. It's pretty cool. So we got an exciting season coming up, and we kick off here on the 24th of June at the Hill United tournament. What are you looking forward to the most there, Boldy?
Definitely get back to see all the boys. We had a couple of new fellas come down the team, but most excited about, we're defending champs too, right? So it's nice coming back. We got that swagger back. It was a big season. It's just nice to be back on top. We all know how hard it is to get there, and staying there is even harder. So coming into this season, everyone's gunning for us again. I mean, we've been there. We've won multiple in a row, and it's just nice being that team again to say, you know what, come on, boys, fucking bring it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting around the boys, especially, the fellas I haven't seen. So Ads, for example, is, I'm really looking forward to being around them, chirping them fucking mopes all the time. So,
well, you got it. He got the ultimate chirp, right? So we'll go through 2016. 2016 was a real special year for you. I think that's when you really established yourself on the scene as a real force in the men's Fastpitch game. Real prick is right, but we got to like him because teammate on Newfoundland. So he comes in, he hits walk-off home run, ISC, against Adam, and he knows the way he is with Adam, right? Frightened it at him. He said, fuck that, now I'm going to join them. He said, I'm not giving him a chance to pin me. Hits the walk-off and then joins the team next year.
What a fucking coward cop he is, right?
But we'll save that, because there's not many people get to walk us through a walk-off home run at the ISC. So I want to go through that in detail in a minute, but you're just talking about your cop background. So we're going to jump all over the place here tonight, Boldy, and I love everything about it. But you got promoted to sergeant over the last little bit, and now that's a new nickname, right? New nickname on Team Canada, on Newfoundland, on the Chiefs, is Sarge, right? And he's coming up in the first inning. We got all the boys now. Doesn't matter where they're from. Call them Sarge. What has softball done? Do you bring anything from softball or your sports to make you a better cop, and does it go vice versa in the sports world? How does that all line up for you?
Definitely. I mean, getting into the police force is, one of the biggest things is teamwork, right? So being a part of teams growing up and playing sports has been a huge factor. I mean, in our job, it's all about leadership qualities, teamwork, integrity, holding people accountable. So it all relates back to, being a part of a team. But a lot of the stories from being a cop also, they're a lot funny to bring around the boys, but there's a few things I'll mention, but we'll wait for that one. But no, I find it's camaraderie, it's teamwork, it's leadership. It do relate a lot everyday policing. I mean, you're on a shift with the same fellas and women every day, so it's just nice to bring that little bit of happiness and joy like you do when you're on the ballpark. So I love it. It relates, it intertwines really well with southbound policing.
And I kind of, obviously I kind of grew up in that atmosphere. Like, my father was a cop for 30. I'm obviously not a cop. I don't think I'm qualified for a position like that.
No, you're
but
not.
but there's been, well, I was just speaking Newfoundland here now. There's a lot of cops over the years, like dating right back to the former chief of police who've played. They're Hall of Fame ball players here, and we still got quite a few cops in the league there now, and they're all, all great ball players. You're right. You're all about the teamwork and all this stuff. But I do get to see you guys at the year-end parties and the beer tents and stuff like too. Like, there's a lot of you that should, I think there should be annual testing or something that goes on.
Oh man, you got no. Right? The wife goes right at her. Like, get in the beer tent, sees cops all around. It's wicked.
Yeah.
But Bowley,
free ride home then.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Because remember, staying at your place, university, we go down over the hill down to George Street, and then after bars don't close till 3:00, then you got to go get Ziggy Peel Goods or Subway or something. Then everyone's lined up, and then sure enough, Hilly's on the phone calling Johnny Hill. He comes around the corner. He jumps in the back of the cop car and gets a ride home. How annoying is that for you when you're out on the
I don't even say it happens very much anymore, does it? Back in the day, Johnny said it used to happen all the time. And
yeah,
of course,
it do. I mean, it don't happen as much. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that goes on nowadays.
A lot going on now,
right? Usually close friends are a lot of fellow cops. I mean, you kind of know the gist of it, and we don't want people going home drinking and driving. And I know we're not taxi cabs either, but anytime you can give someone a lift, or you just got to be careful about it. You can't abuse the power. I mean,
well, half the time Jason got in the back of Johnny's car, he deserved to get in the back of a cop car anyway. We just went home and said it to the back.
I hop right in the back. Go, Johnny, go.
You can definitely relate to I'll pick you up down behind the keg type text messages. That's usually mosey on down, get out of sight, out of mind, and give everybody a ride.
It's funny. It's funny. We've been down to Lions Park on a Thursday night, and we've been playing the Bulldogs, and Bowley's not there, so we're bowling night. Bowley's working. Usually then around third, fourth inning, he sees the cruiser come in. Coffee, take in a couple innings. Flick the lights on, gone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just checking the score. Checking the score. Making sure there's no rackets in the stands and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Bowley, when was the last time you faced Hilly in a game? Because it's been a while since you played in the league full time. When was the last time you faced him on the mound?
It'd be 2019.
Dinger?
Did you play here in 19?
2019, yeah.
Yeah.
I was here in 2019. And did we play in 2020? Yeah, we played in 2020 too.
Yeah, but were you in Labrador then?
I didn't come up to fucking Nunavut till October 2020. No, so I played in 2020, and I think the last time I faced Jason, no, it wasn't a dinger. I had too many then to remember off him, but I think it was like 0 for 0 with 4 fucking walks, or maybe 0 for 1 with a strikeout and 3 walks. He's showing me about fucking 18 changeups.
That sounds more like it. If I struck you out, I'm definitely walking you arrested because I gotta get one up. I gotta one up you, right?
Yeah, you struck me out because the inning before you were fucking going over to Bobby the whole inning, so I knew you were going to get something.
Bobby,
tell the story about the time we faced you. I think it was first game provincials, and you were still with the junior team.
Man, so that was going to be one of the stories. Honestly,
let's go right now then.
So we're there, right? So I'm still a junior. His father's still kicking around. I think he's coaching or he's there anyway. His father's going to be back corner all the time anyways. So we're down in fucking Dunville. And, it comes down home with Stephen Mullally on the billboard there. Holy Jesus, look, right? But at this point in my career, Lally and Hilly and these guys are the fellas I'm looking up to. I'm just starting and these boys, I'm just learning about ISCs. I wants to get there, right? And the boys are fucking winning and I had no idea anything about it. So anyways, goes down to Dunville and wind's blowing a gale out the right field. Juniors right facing Jason. I think he might have struck me out my first at bat, but anyways, I'm like, it's Jason Hill, whatever. I had to go that bat. I looked at Dad and I said, Dad, I had to go that bat. Fuck off! Don't look at me like I should do something better. So, anyways, I'm frightened to death that he's gonna fucking anyway. So Gets out there, right? First pitch. Obviously, everyone knows I like fucking swinging at the first pitch. Anyways, first pitch, drop ball outside, hits a fucking pop-up, probably 200 feet. Anyways, Lally, you know it's Dunville wind.
Oh, that's out in the water then.
Anyways, I'm going around first base thinking I'm caught out. Home run. As I'm going around first base, Jason starts walking towards me like in the back of the mound. He goes, "What the fuck was that butt?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Hit the fucking ball next time, boy. Fucking win shot." So I trapped down home directly to Dad. I was like, "Dad, did I do something wrong?" He said, "I'll take care of him, Sonny. I'll take care of him." Fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Hit the shot and buddy fucking chirped me going around because I hit a fucking wind shot.
Yeah. Hey, they all count, Spoley. I got a 231-foot bomb off Todd Martin. I never let him live it down. And it's, hey,
right.
They don't say how far. They say how many.
No, that's right. And when I goes back into the stats, it says Shane Boland.
Dinger.
1 for 2, Jason Hill. Bam.
That's right.
There was another game I was thinking of too. It was at Lions Park, and you were pitching at this point. Do you remember that? So but I think you guys were home, so you were pitching. You were pitching, and I was up first inning. Boom! Hits a home run off him, right?
Yeah.
Starts chirping him, running around second base, little digs, right? Right. Bottom of the first, he's leading off. Fucking boom, home run, and two was just die laughing, right? Like this is a provincial game. Two was just die laughing.
Right? I do remember that.
That's wicked, man. Well, that's kind of where you're talking about back being out in Dunville, just getting your feet wet, learning who everybody is. Not really, weren't friends with Hilly or myself then, but now we're 10 years in or more playing with you, and it's just as much fun now as it has been throughout those 10 years. Still getting a chance to do it at every level, provincially, representing Newfoundland, playing ISC with Hill United, and now a big year with Team Canada coming up. You guys preparing for New Zealand. So talk a little bit, Boley. I got it written down here. A lot of me and Hilly go hand in hand a lot. Gone pretty well the same road since we've been 17 years old. But I'm seeing a lot of similarities to yours and Bradley's relationship, especially over the last 3, 4, 5 years. You guys are roommates, emerging as two of the best players in the planet, both from Newfoundland. What's that been like for you, that relationship you have with Bradley?
Game changing for my career, to be honest. Yeah, we're real tight. We feed off each other a lot. We got a unbelievable relationship. It's straight up honesty from when we're doing shit and when we're doing great. We when the time is right, we'll pump each other's stars, and when the time is right, we'll also tell each other we're shit. But we don't beat around the bush. So I find, if I got any issues or anything like that, he's my roommate. But even when when shit's going downhill, he's the guy I turn to. I learn a lot off him. He learns a lot off me. We got good chemistry. We got, it's just a bond that, as you and Hilly know, that it's just something that you'll always have, and it's something that, I don't know, you roll with it. And I don't know, man, he's the best ball player I've ever seen, put cleats on. In my generation, he's just, I'm not going to pump his tires. He's a fucking asshole sometimes too. But, I'm not gonna say too much about him. But I find he's grown my career to a level where I can perform at the top level, and he just gives you that extra little bit of, when I always says, Zeke, you going to hit a home run tonight? He's like, yeah, so are you though. Like, you're going to fucking hit a home run. Like, he's not that, he'll never take out the credit. He'll always put the team first. And he's just one of these guys that, I don't know, man, if you know Brad Eskel, you know what I'm talking about. But for what he done for my career is, I don't know, he's let me take the reins at times. And he's also, reeled in my horn. So he's kept me humble, and he's also put me on a pedestal. So that's really what I can say about him.
Yeah, and all those things are championship qualities, right? Like, and one thing that I took from that was that, yes, it's nice to get some praise, and it's nice to talk to your roommate, your best buddy, your teammate when you did good. Like, way to go, great job, you were on fire tonight, locked in. But it's also nice when things don't go your way, because in this game, 7 out of 10 times things don't go our way. So it's nice to have that conversation as well, on a serious conversation, like without blowing smoke up each other's ass, without making excuses. This is what I seen out of you tonight. This is what I feel like you did. And just one follow-up story to that. Talk about being a straight shooter and letting you know when you're shit, right? You two guys, and Bradley Ezigal and Lolly, I don't know if you were about to tell this story or not. Remember in Circle Death?
I was about to start telling you, but I was wanted you to tell it.
The four of us were in the room having a beer, right? Myself, Shane Boland, Bradley, and Lolly. And Skipper comes in, Johnny Hill comes in, and he goes, "Boys, sit down for a minute. I want to talk to you." He closed the door, right? And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, here we go." Because it was no secret. We had a shit week that week. All of us. Well, not almost all of us.
Yeah, we finished fourth.
We
right?
had
So
a shit
this is after tournament. After the tournament was over, last day we're having the end of season beers in the room debriefing, right?
Yeah, we're eliminated. I think we're having a couple of beers before we go back to the park to watch some of the championship games.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so Johnny comes in and he wasn't happy, and none of us were happy. We didn't have a great weekend and we just got knocked out. So he sits down and he goes around the room and starts with Shane. He goes, "Shane," he goes, "you're one of the best in the game right now. You're an up and comer. You're hanging with the big boys now. You're a great ball player. You had a great season, but this weekend, just this week at the IC, just didn't go your way. Like, we were hoping for a little bit better, but just didn't, hit balls weren't falling in, yada, yada. It just didn't go your way, right?" It's to Bradley Ezigal. "Bradley, well, you're the best in the world." He said, "You had a great week, so keep doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
Right? Then he gets to Lolly. And he goes, "Lolly, it just you were for many years, you were one of the best hitters in the world." He said, "But this week they were walking batters to get you." He said, he said, it was not a great week by no stretch. He said, "Things got to change here, and they got to change in the upcoming season," right? Yeah. Then he gets to me. He goes, "Jason," he goes, "I strongly think you should consider retirement." He said. You guys remember that?
Yes, man.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I couldn't help from laughing, but you just want to crack him across the face too. But you respect him at the same time, man. It was we actually fucking howled, and it was wicked.
Spot on, really.
Yeah, it was hard. Now that wasn't verbatim, but it was pretty damn close.
The part about you retiring was verbatim. No, but that's and you've heard us. I know our listeners have heard us talk about John Hill. We've had him on here, but that's the type of thing that people don't see. And I like that our podcast gets an opportunity to, pull the curtain back a little bit. But there are some of the things that make the top coaches the best. That thin line we talked about it with Stewie last week of having a great relationship where it's you're friends and you care about each other. It's more than just playing for an average coach, but the respect and then the fact that they care enough to tell you what you need to hear that you don't want to hear. John Hill and John Stewart are two of the best at it. Danny Brucker was really good at it. I don't know if you had a chance to meet him, Bowley, but some of those coaches, it's those little things that happen in a hotel room at the end of a season that stick with you, right? So
I agree. Yep.
And
they're doing it because they care, right?
Exactly.
Because as much as it bothers us to underperform, it bothers them even more.
Well,
right?
and me with your dad, you especially, your son, but you and I with him, we got a different level of relationship with him, and it's almost to the point where I think in the back of his mind, it's like, fuck, I hope the boys play because I don't want to get in a position where I got to cut or sit out my son and Lolly. So we're always taking that into the offseason. Like, geez, yes, we want to win. We want to make the team. We want to do that. Says, fuck, man, imagine getting cut by your dad.
Right? And this dates back for me with Johnny. This dates back right to Adam Hockey. Like, I remember back in Adam Hockey driving home. And he'd always tell you how it is, right? He'd tell you exactly how it is. He didn't care if you were 6 or if you're 36.
Now, Jason, this is your 5th suspension of the year for slashing and checking from behind.
Any advice, Father? Yeah, sell your gear.
Yeah. Let's talk about hockey, boys. Hockey's like all in the moment now. The NHL playoffs are coming in. And, we got the Final Four. We won't do the spit and chicklets, all that about the NHL. But, Bowley, you're some hockey player, man. What? Talk to us about a little bit about your hockey career, because you had a fork in the road decision to make when you were younger about moving away playing hockey or dedicating yourself to the game of fast pitch. And we all know the decision that you made, but you got a couple of highlights from your old hockey career I want to go through with you too. But talk a little bit about that juncture in your life where you had to make that decision.
Yeah, well, I mean, I played hockey. Father put me on skates when I was 2 years old. So I played minor hockey and, all-star, all that shit growing up. But, Dad was always, Mom and Dad were always, play hockey in the winter and ball in the summer. So I was completely fine with that. And, I never had that burnout stage. I know a lot of kids these days gets the burnout, but Dad and Mom were never one, to do that to me or Ryan. So, but I mean, I played, all-star until I got to, Bantam, and then, I got to play on the Atlantic teams and, all the provincial teams, and got to go away there. And then all of a sudden when you're in, grade 9, 10, and, you get an opportunity to play Canada Games. So I ended up making the Canada Games team for hockey as an underager. And then unfortunately I didn't go to that tournament due to, I focused my career on softball, but I missed out the opportunity. I mean, that would have been against Stamkos and Tavares, and all these guys were playing the Canada Games that year. So
you would have got shit kicked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have fucking went either.
No.
Right?
Job for you, had to sell your gear.
Right? So I mean, I'll always watch the boys on TV and be like, I know what the boys, right? The boys are, But
that'd be pretty cool, though. I was saying.
Yeah. So got to that fork in the road, and then I was playing high school hockey, and I got approached by the Moncton Wildcats to come up for a tryout. And at the same time, I was getting ready to get geared up for the junior men's in 2008. Now, at that time, I was a double underager to make that team. So I was only 16, turning 17 for the under 19. So it was almost like a shot in the dark for me. No one really knew who I was. But, it was at a point in my career was, do I make it a run at the hockey gig or continue with ball? And I really thought, I sat back and said, would I actually make the NHL being, well, I'm 6'4", but do I actually have a shot at making the NHL being, 5'8", 170 pounds? Highly doubtful, but I chose the career. I chose the ball path, so I gave up the opportunity to go up to the Quebec Major Junior League. And but I continued playing hockey. Like in the winter, I played the Senior League, played the Avalon East. Won a couple scoring titles there, and I continued right through as I became a police officer, and I continued playing. And then lucky enough to snag a herder in 2017. I played with your buddy there, Kenny King, with the game winner. But no, that was a cool experience. I got picked up with the Seabees in 2017. I was captain of the Southern Shore Breakers for 7 years. And the boys picked me up, myself and Danny Dalton, Jeremy Nicholas, and Dan Cadigan. And we were playing against Clarenville, who had a budget of $250,000 a year. And, we got a couple of free sticks and a helmet and gloves. So we went out there, boy. We gave it our all. And we ended up capturing the title. I mean, had a little highlight reel goal there in Game 6. Double overtime, no big deal.
Yes, sir.
Double
I remember
OT
that.
winner. That was all over the friggin' news, man, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. So then, we managed to get that title, and we celebrated hard, and it was just nice to go. I was after winning a couple of ISC titles and senior men's titles with ball, and then the flip flop over to hockey. It was nice to be able to do both and see both sides of the coin. But to say that, it is a little bit of a regret that I didn't go away to the junior hockey and just see what it would have been and what it would have turned out. But again, I don't regret it because where I've gone and what I've done in ball has, surpassed long my goals. So.
Yeah, you forgot to mention you finished her off with Team Black on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Team Black Thursday nights, right, with Jason Hill on the point. You wouldn't know when he's Dale McCarr back there.
Oh man.
Tell Lolly that one, or tell everyone that one funny story, that your favorite story from
Right,
Thursday Night League.
Thursday Night League, right? The goals. I said, Jason, right? Jason, me, Jason, Akil were on the same team always. So we're there, right? And Hilly's fucking holding down the fort in the back end. I was getting in rackets with fucking Dennis Lambert every other night, but we won't get into that. But anyways, we're going up on a rush, right? So I'm going up on the wing. Thursday night hockey now, like fucking rack hockey, right? So anyways, bust up the wing. Buddy couldn't even probably skate backwards. Did a little button hook. Sees Hilly, big old smile on his face, coming down right through the middle of the slot. Right? Dishes out a little saucer past the Hilly. Hilly waltzes on in, lets a fucking bullet of a snapshot go. Rings it off the bar. Never even went in, shot over in the corner. He does the big old loop, looks at me. Some shot with the bully. I nearly fell to me fucking back. I got back to the bench. I said, Keel, you're not going to believe what this fucking is. I'll never forget it. It was the funniest fucking rec hockey story I've ever fucking told.
Oh, man. That is wicked, bud. Yeah, Hilly, man, we could have an whole episode talking about you playing rec hockey, man. But that's wicked. But Boley, there's so much that you've done in the game. I want to touch on it, but keep doing like we're doing here. But you talked about that year when you had that juncture of playing hockey versus playing softball. 16 years old, trying out for the U19 Canadian national team, and you made it as a 2-year underager and got to represent. So if you look at key moments in someone's career and jump off points, when you made that team, put that jersey on for the first time, you're up to your waist in softball now. You know that this is something you're going to dedicate. And just quickly going through that, what did that do in terms of opening your eyes, your confidence, and where you saw yourself going in the game?
That was it was a pivotal moment in my career, but it was also a time where I was setting more goals. So that was a goal, but then I also seen you guys on Team Canada. I mean, Ryan was stepping into the senior men's. You guys were there. There was a bigger picture for me. Even at 16, 17 years old, I found once I mean, you're athletes and you're competitive, so your expectations are always high. So me going into that, I always thought, I can make this. I can do it, right? That mentality. So when I got the call to say, from Tom Doucette, God bless his heart, that you're going to represent Canada in the junior men's, it was bone chilling, really. I mean, it was like, holy shit, I'm going to put on a Team Canada uniform. Like this is the real deal, right? So, at that point, Mike Noftel was there with me. He was a key part for me. He was almost like a bigger brother going through that experience. I can say nothing but good things about Mikey there. He took me under his wing, and we had a hell of a time. We had a hell of a tournament. We came up a little bit short there on a shit call in the championship game, but won't get too much into that one. But as for the experience, it was, as you guys know, what put that maple leaf on. I mean, you're representing your country. I mean, you can't get any higher. That is the moment that you've all been waiting for. And, but it was also, it took me back once that experience was done and I came back to the league. I remember going down and I did a couple of speeches at the Mass tournament, and I was like, boss, I played in the Mass tournament like 4 months ago. So it was a little bit weird, right?
That is crazy.
To do a speech that the tournament you just played in against Shea Heights. Like it was almost one of these moments where it's either your head is going to swell or you got to, rein it in a little bit, because when I came back to the league, I was playing with All in their RV and I was playing with Jason and Sean, and I got fucking mowed down and I got made look embarrassed, right? Like I went from, being the man as such in 2008, being the junior kid to, sit the fuck down because I don't know who you think you are type thing. So it was almost like you're good, but you're really not that good. So it was almost one of them moments where it was like, is this my last moment or am I going to continue on?
Right.
So it was game changing in both aspects to, be very proud, but also realize the fact that, listen here, kid, you got a lot of fucking work to do if you want to get on our level.
Right. And it's kind of like a lot of people I've talked to, or a lot of people that we've talked to who played the World Juniors say, a lot of these guys like yourself are coming, you're leaving league in the Goulds, or you're leaving league at Lions Park, or whatever part of Canada you're in, and all of a sudden you're playing against New Zealand, Japan, Australia, right? Some countries, you're playing against some countries you didn't even know that played softball, and you're like, holy shit, like there's a lot of people I've talked to say, like they felt like there's a whole another level to this, right? So now you've done the national team thing at junior, and you go back, and like you said, and you're kind of humbled again because you're playing against guys that are older than yourself, and you're thinking to yourself, well, shit, now the work starts. Now the new goals come in, and like you said, you set your eyes on the bigger picture, right? Yeah.
And it's weird too, because we all went through that, because we were all, for our age, some of the best junior players in the country. Then you make a jump to play senior while you're still playing junior. Remember how hard it was not to talk about junior when you're playing senior, and then you're around like Ryan Wolf and Todd Martin and all these guys, and you get fined because you're bringing up junior, and you realize that you don't talk about junior anymore. Yeah, it was frowned upon, right? And actually, Hilly's it's kind of fucking frowned upon on our podcast. I don't know why we're going through all this junior bullshit with you, but no, but we want to go through everything that you've done and how you got to where you are, but. It's a big jump, though, isn't it? Like, to go from as high as you can go, as young as you were. There's no higher you can go. You won juniors, right? Yep. You've won juniors once or twice, I believe. You played Team Canada. As much as you can do under the age of 18 years old, you did it. And then it's almost like you said, all right, I'm good. But now as soon as you put both feet into the senior, you're starting from scratch almost again.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and we see it, we all see it. We see, these guys in junior who light it up, and like, man, they're, good junior kids. And once they hit the senior level, it's like, it's either make it or break it, man. Is there who's going to make the adjustments? And you know what? A lot of people are satisfied with a good junior career, but, as a competitive, ball players we are, and as you guys know, I mean, there is no end to it, right? You always want to be the best. You want to, perform at the highest level. So that was a pivotal moment.
Yeah, I'm a believer that if you're a good ball player, you put the work in, chances are things will work out for you. But in the same breath, when you make that jump, there's some players that get on with a team that have such a good group of veterans that can take you in and show you the ropes. It almost propels you ahead. And the three of us on here, I know, can speak from personal experience. Hilly, you going with the farm in Aspen. I got to go down to Wisconsin, then play with Aurelia and Team Canada early. Boley, you made your jump in your ISC debut, I believe, and you won the ISC tournament playing with Jarvis. And so talk a little bit about how important that was for you to get that jump coming out of juniors, coming out of everything that you accomplished, to get your feet wet in the ISC, playing with your brother. At this point, they're two-time defending champs with Jarvis. And kind of on my point about you're a young guy getting on a team with that talent, what did that do for the rest of your career?
Yeah, I mean, I was extremely fortunate. I got to credit there to Ryan big time there for, just poking out my name there. And I mean, him and Sean got the call up there with Jarvis, and they were looking for a utility player, and Ryan threw across my name, and Doc and Coos were all about it. So once I got the call to play with that team, I started doing a little bit of research and seeing, is Ryan Wolf and Brad Rona and Ben and Oak and Freddie Turkelson and Todd Martin and Cordy and all these people who were just like Hall of Fame type players. And now I'm going to suit up and put a uniform on and be their teammate. It was a bit, nerve-wracking, not to say the least. But I was also wanted to take the bull by the horns and take it all in. So I just didn't want to be, just sit on the bench and get to learn. I mean, I'd done a lot of that with that team, but I also wanted to make, my opportunities count when I got the chance. And I got a lot of chances that season. I played pretty well every game until it came to the ISCs. And listen, we're all about winning. So, you play your role. But how that year, it really introduced me to, this is ISC. You're playing men's ball. Like this is it here now. Like this is our, World Cup. This is our World Series. You don't get any better. You're facing the best pitching, the best hitting, and the best fielding. And I found it, the season was unbelievable. You're traveling up on the weekends, man. I was 20 years old. My first year on the circuit, and I'm playing with the two-time defending champs. Walking in the ballpark, again, like we said, everyone wants to beat you, right? Like, and I'm there, right? And I'm like, alongside of Brad Rona and Ryan Wolf and Opie and all these guys and Horny, and it's just like, man, like I'm actually in, on this team with these guys. This is crazy, but you had to rein it in a little bit too, right? Like it's almost one of these things where you don't want to be, too nervous or too feeling like you're not good enough to be there, but you also got to realize like this is the best too. So I found it, it was a game changer for me. We ended up winning the ISC, which I didn't realize until I was there how big of a tournament it was. And once you get that feeling, as you know, that feeling never goes away. So that's why we continue coming back to try to keep winning.
Yeah, and we all knew at that stage of the game that you were on the scene for a good day. I remember after that game, it was a hell of a ball game, by the way, even though we lost. We almost won. There was a little bubble there in the center field. You guys remember that?
Oh man,
yeah,
almost.
But anyway,
almost.
It was a back and forth game. We talked about that before, but I remember after the game, and we're in the beer tent in the back, and a lot of our stories happen in the beer tent, don't they?
There's some fun. There's some fun.
I remember, and I went and I seen you sitting on a picnic table, and I went and I bought you a beer right away, and I sat down, had a chat, and
see how he brags, man. He brags when he buys people beer.
And right? I knew.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Okay, I won't even get into that. But anyway, I knew at that point, I was like, yeah, you're here to stay. So we're going to have a lot of meetings in the beer tent going forward, but it was great to see, man.
Well, folks, we've been involved in a lot of tough games over the years. And after those, we like to debrief with an ice-cold Miller Lite. With its great Pilsner taste and only 90 calories and 3 grams of carbs per serving, after every tough game, it's always Miller time. Please drink responsibly. But it's pretty crazy, Boley, when you look back at that year. We talked a little bit about what you've done up until that stage, but 2012, you're the only person in the Canadian history, for sure, that year you won the Junior Men's Canadians, the Senior Men's Canadians, and the ISC World Tournament all in 1 year. And how old were you?
I was 21.
21 years old. That is, how do you not have a head on you about the size of a friggin' Michelin Man, right?
21. 21. That's why I bought you a beer. I thought you were only like 19. You weren't allowed to buy beer down there. Fuck's sakes. Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, 425 you owe him next time you see him, Boley. Yeah, or one Yingling.
Really didn't know, but I could have fucking arrested you then, for fuck's sakes.
5 for underage.
Yeah. So that was an unbelievable. That's a career for most people. There's damn good ball players that are long said and done that haven't done that much, and that really put you on the radar. But I want to fast forward to that 2016 season. As I said earlier, for me, that's when you really came on the scene as this guy is going to be the next shortstop, the next captain with Team Canada, the next, of the always going to be playing on Saturday on a championship contending team with ISC teams. And just before we go into that year, I do got to pause for a second and read a little bit about what you've done in the game. How old are you now, Boley? 30, 31?
31.
31 years old, 4-time ISC champ. You got an ASA title to your name, 7-time Senior Men's Canadian champion. Like we said, you're the only player that have won the ISC Junior Men's and Senior Men's all in 1 year. 5-time All-Canadian shortstop, 2-time Canadian Senior Men's top batter, Senior Men's MVP, 2-time all-world, 2-time All-American, and you got the friggin' most RBIs in the ISC and most home runs in the ASA. Like, that is unbelievable. And you're still going at it, and you're just entering your prime. So there's a lot more in store, but that's an amazing list of accomplishments for what you've done so far. And for me, that really became apparent that was going to be possible in 2016. You're playing with the Gators. You're playing with Newfoundland. You're part of that core team. Then when you went to the ISC that year with the Gators, that was a special group. You're playing with your brother. Can you walk us through maybe that tournament and that championship game? And we all know that you hit that walk-off, which is an unbelievable moment. Just take us through all that and our listeners for.
Yeah, I mean, leading into 2016, I mean, with that group of guys with the Gators, I mean, we had a goal in mind. I mean, thanks to someone here on the air the year before, it stung a little. He had a big home run in 2015 to take a title away from the Gators. That was again, the battles that we've had with you guys were, I mean, the best games that you mark them down in history. So, that was one real hard pill to swallow after 2015. So going into 2016 season, obviously we had a goal. I believe our first tournament of the year, we didn't win a ball game in Newfoundland. We were absolute dog shit. Yeah. So, there was a lot of building leading up to that tournament. But once 2016 ISC hit, it was business, and we had one goal in mind, and Cleary and Ryan, and they knew what they had to do, and all our players knew what we had to do. But I guess we'll get into the championship game, and I'll just say for myself, throughout that week, I mean, I struggled when it come to numbers, and I was never a big believer on numbers. I know when we get into watching people's stats and shit like that, the numbers are evident, but Dad always taught me. I mean, he always used to use the example with Brad. He said, Brad Esco's one of the best hitters in the world, if not the best. He said, if he goes out there and hits the ball 25 tons and gets out 0 for 25, is he a shitty hitter? No, he's not. I mean, sometimes the ball don't go in, sometimes it don't go your way. So I always try to keep that in the back of my mind, even when, the numbers don't show. So during the ISC, my numbers weren't showing. So, that was, as much as we say it don't play in the back of your head, it does. And I think both of you guys can agree that, if your numbers aren't showing, it'll play a little bit on your mind. But,
yep,
it wasn't going, it wasn't my week that week. But, Terry Bader, he had some faith in me. And in the past, I mean, Adam Folkart, he's got me out multiple times. And, we've had battles, and he's the best pitcher in the world. So, you're going into the championship game of the ISCs against Adam Folkart. It's fucking tough. It's tough. But anyways, in the championship game, I managed to get a hit early in the game and lay down a bunt. And, I was starting to get some confidence there. And anyways, for the jigs and reels, I think we were up 3-0, and you guys managed to claw your way back and tie her up. A couple of big bombs there by Dickie Bird balls up in the corner there again. My opinion, I thought it was caught, but anyways, don't go there.
Hey, listen, you put Jason Hill in the ISC championship game. The ball's going over the fence.
It's hard to debate there, isn't it? I'm glad he's on my fucking team. Yeah, so I was leading up there, and we were in the bottom of the 7. It was tie game, 3-3. I think Wayne led off with a hit. Ronan might have struck out, I think. And then there was Thomas Sanoka was up with a very, very good at-bat there. It was a tight ball 4, and stepping to the dish with a runner on first and second. And it was, there was one out, and I was thinking to myself, I said, the amount of times I trained in the fucking gym and said, you know what, imagine, championship game, ISCs, bottom of the 7th. I always used to say 2 outs. What are you going to do? What the fuck are you going to do? The game is in your hands. And what the fuck I was thinking, I was on deck and I was like, man, this is it. Like, this is it right here, right now. What are you going to do, you short little sawed-off piece of shit? What are you going to do? Right? So anyways, I said, that fucking I said to myself, that tall, lanky fuck out there now, he's going to try to throw an 85 mile-an-hour drop ball on the outside corner. Guaranteed he's going to. So I was thinking in my head, I said, what the fuck, if that's in the zone, I'm fucking reaching my long-ass arms out there and I'm hitting it off. Anyways, I was strolling on up to the plate. I'd say, me fucking arse was tighter than a frog's hole. And I said, holy fuck, right? Adam Falkard's out on the mound. Little Shaney's off the bat. Here it is.
Shaney.
He did his old fucking jerk out on the mound and can let her go. And there it was by outside dipper. And I fucking lunged at the fucking thing. And when I hit it, I said, well, Jesus Christ, next year I'm going to have broken ribs. No, I hit the fucking ball, and then everything went to a blur. I stuck my arm up in the air like an idiot. I didn't know what else to do. I put my arm up in the air, man. I said, holy fuck. I said, I just hit a walk-off off Adam Falkard in the ISC Championship game. I don't give a fuck what happens. Then what I had to think about, around in third, I said, what am I going to do here? So I took the helmet and I fired it about 40 feet in the air. I said, fuck it, come on, boys, we're fucking going. Yeah.
I remember I was in the dugout at this game was over at this point, and here I was again, taking off the old spikes by and digging for the old wallet, getting a few shekels there, mumbling myself by another fucking bear for that little prick over there now again. I said, Pete, come here. I said, I'm sick of buying beer for this little bastard. They get him on our team next year. And sure enough.
There he goes. Yeah. But that must have been pretty cool, Boley, coming around third base. And we had your brother Ryan on. One of our best buddies played with him for years, and his episode we chatted a little bit about you and that year and that hit and how important that was for you and special. How special was it to get to home plate, have that accomplishment, and then get to see your big brother there and celebrate it with him? How special was that?
You don't get moments like that, right? That they're one and few and far between. To have him there at home plate, I mean, he was the one who got me on the circuit there and gave me the opportunity. He threw my name out there, and we played a lot of years together, and to run into home plate, he's like, holy fuck, that's my little brother who just done at this level. And words, you don't have to say anything. You just know, right? I mean, that's your brother. So it was a very emotional but intense, as you know who he is, type of time. So yeah, you can't really explain the feeling. Just a lot of emotions, a lot of just holy fuck moments, right? Like, yeah. This is what we just done.
Yeah, and I think it'll get more special the older you both get, and especially when you're done, you're talking to your kids and stuff about that. There's not a lot of people get to have those experiences, get to have that personal impact on the game, and then very few get to do it with their older brother. So that's it's not lost on us how special that was, even though how shitty it was that we had to watch it happen, right? But it was going to happen. I won't say I'm glad, but I'll tolerate that it was you.
Yeah.
No, it was excellent, man. And then you roll a week and a half or 2 weeks later right into the first nationals back in Newfoundland since 2007 when we lost, and you were watching that tournament. We're in 2007 when Ryan had his first crack, and now we're the whole province is looking for redemption. You go out and win MVP and lead our team to that championship. So, caps off a pretty special year. But do you want to touch quickly on getting to play at home, winning MVP, and taking down that championship?
Yeah, it kind of just flowed from there. I mean, I had a shit week at ISC, and at the end of it, managed to get the hit there, and it just rolled into Newfoundland, and then every ball was dropping in for me. And I had a Chirp Bradley there. I mean, top batter, but he tied me, but we won't get into that. Right. No, it was good, man. It was everything just worked out. We won at home, and it was just fucking deadly.
Yeah, And that's been a run, and I'm sure our listeners that are not from Newfoundland are sick of it, hearing us talk about it. So we won't go into too much detail on the Nationals in Newfoundland, but I do want to talk, because we haven't talked much about the 2019 up in Grand Prairie or wherever the fuck we were. And just that last play in the championship game. I love that. We got a video of it, and this is where I think Blake Hunter hit the ball. This is 9 to something, whatever it was. They could tie the game or went ahead with him at the plate, and there's 2 outs, and the ball was drilled to you. And I know, you and I both know why that was important, but I'll throw it over to you. What was that last play like, and getting to contribute in a big moment with a defensive play to end the tournament?
Yeah, so there's a little backstory with that one. Obviously, myself and Lolly knows that. But just going for the last 10 years, 11 years now, we've been playing on, nationals together. And ever since 2011, every time myself and Lolly would get together at nationals, we would spend a lot of time, actually, every day practicing throws from shortstop and one-hoppers. We would always work back to the in-between one-hoppers to first base, deep in the hole, firing as hard as I can at your feet, up the line, down the line. We literally, and in 2011, I was 20 years old, and to have someone who's at the top of their career, wanting me to practice certain situations with him, I was like, man, this guy's at the top of his game, and he's still wanting to fucking be better. And I'm like, deep down in my head, I'm like, man, you really got to put the fucking work in. Like, he's still working to be the best he can be. And I was like, it hit home to me that you should never stop fucking practicing. And, to me, it was like, fuck, man, keep her going, right? Like, so anyways.
It was either that or he had fuck all confidence in our fielders that they could throw a ball and hit the check.
But, yeah,
I loved every minute of it, man. It was good just because you're playing first base. You don't want to drop the ball, and you want to. My take is, if your player can get the ball and throw it to you somewhere within your reach before the runner gets to first base, you gotta bail him out, right?
Your job to pick it up.
It is. It's your job, and if you can put a glove on it, or if it can hit you, you should be able to catch it. But that was playing with Ian Fairman, and playing with Nick Shales. It changes the way you prepare as a first baseman. One, because you guys are so good that you make plays that you shouldn't have to, and you're throwing the ball off your arse or from the outfield. Just as Ian Fairman says, just make a fucking play. I made my play, you make your play, right? Yeah. So I had that early on, but you took it to a different level, right? I had to practice because, you're 5'7", you're 175 pounds, but when you charge a fucking ball and you pick it up like a high hopper, You don't care about the first baseman. You do not care about my feelings or my physical well-being, because you're throwing the ball 90 miles an hour from the first on the run. And I just remember that, like, I had dental work done because I had, I could have flossed with a skipping rope when I was a young fella, right? I had braces and orthodontic work, and I mean, if this guy hits me in the mouth with this ball, I'm not going back through all that stuff. So a lot of that practice was, I want to be better, but I just didn't want to get the fucking ball in the mouth. But then, we put in that work. Like you said, it was every day that we got to practice together, we ended it, and then we got to end a national tournament on that play. It was unbelievable.
It was. It really was. And it actually just, when I picked the ball up and I was kind of like on my knees and I said, fuck, I fired it over, and sure fucking shit, it was an in-between hop, and you never stretched. You took the fucking hop the way you were supposed to, and it fucking came up on you too. And anyways, man, I was like, as soon as you caught it, I know you, because you walked straight over at old PD Cabinet, came running towards me. It was a big moment for him. And I looked and I ran towards you, and I knew, and you knew. I said, man, it actually fucking pays off. And sure as shit, man, it really did. And it was definitely a moment for me and you throughout our career, and it meant a lot to me. So
yeah, Yeah, it
And
was.
he goes, Hilly, he goes, some snag, wouldn't it?
Friggin' right. Yeah. Hilly, make that 2 beers, no? Yeah. No, it's.
No, I got to touch on that, just on that last one, because in that fucking game, I did the little deke out slide in the championship game.
Yeah.
And anyways, I came in the dugout and I looked at Hilly. I said, some slide, what the?
He did too.
That is wicked.
That was actually, I didn't touch on that. That was actually a sick slide. And that video's on YouTube, man. It is nuts. I don't know how you did that at like very last second made a decision to do that, but.
Well, I mean, when you're rooming with fucking Bradley Esigal, I mean, you got to try to top him every time. That's my goal in softball.
Yeah.
Now it comes back, I'm going to be like, I'm going to have more hits, more home runs, and better catches. And I never succeed, but I'll keep trying.
Yeah. Man, it's wicked. There's, like you said, what I love the most about these episodes that we get our buddies on that we've played with, there's so many different stories, right? We can never touch on them all. But I do need to touch on the 2021 ISC season. What really stood out to me is you're up in Labrador. We haven't played in 2 years because of COVID. No one knew what Shane Boland was going to be like. We know, the attitude and the leadership, and that's something that's really stood out since 2016 is your development as a player, your success individually and the teams you played on, but you progressively came into your own as a leader on every team that you played for. But when you showed up down there, like there's not I don't even know if there's a ball field in the town that you're at up there, and he came in, we're all shit except Shane. Shane's coming down like he's in mid-season form, and he hasn't seen a live pitch in probably 2 years. But I do want to take the time on here just to tell you how impressive that performance was. Not only just the stat lines and some of the big hits, but you came in your own as a leader that year. Is that something that you're aware of? Because the guys that were playing alongside you, that's one of my biggest memories of that year was how you showed up and held yourself and played well.
Yeah, I mean, coming into that season, I give a lot of credit to Rebecca, my girlfriend, for, to be honest, we trained a lot and we went to the gym and you know what, she's a huge supporter of me, and to get myself in physical shape, she's a big supporter there. But we worked hard, and all I could do was do what I could from where I'm to and what I got. So what I need to do was work on my skills when I can. So Ryan gave me the batting machine, and I'd get out there, and Rebecca would she'd feed me balls. And when I get on the ball field, yeah. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, so no, we'd hit the diamond, and I just smack wiffle balls and take ground balls, do what I could to get prepared for the season. And for all of us, I mean, we were coming off a COVID year, but I want to make the most of it, and I wanted our team to get back on top. I knew Pete Hill, our sponsor, was doing above and beyond what to get us there and to make us comfortable. I mean, we did a full 3.5 week tour down in the States. But for me, I just wanted to be ready. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want to disappoint myself. But I felt 2019 was our last time together. And I felt at this point in my career, you're getting 28, 29, 30, like you're starting to peak your prime. And I felt that way too. So I wanted to contribute as much as I can. And LZ and Johnny gave me that role to basically take over Bradley's spot as leadoff. And that's fucking big shoes to fill. So I just tried to make it, just be myself, but just contribute as much as I can. And I hold a lot of, I try to be a leader as best I can. So I try to take a little bit more responsibility in that aspect. But I wanted to be prepared as much as I can. I knew physically I was, and basically I wanted to get to that level and just keep producing, right?
Yeah, and for me, like personally, it was nice to have you in that leader role. Like, well, we all want a team full of leaders like that at that level, and most times it is, right? Because you got guys in your team that are batting 7th, 8th that could bat 3, 4 on any other team. But for myself personally, I kind of got thrown into the third base role there when Shalesy had a bit of bad luck and couldn't make the trip. So I know myself, I really relied heavily on you for your leadership, so to speak, when we were in the field, or positioning and this and that stuff too, right? So, I mean, it goes a long way. And again, like I said earlier, these are the championship traits that championship teams have. There's no such thing as one, in my opinion, one captain, one leader. The more guys that we can have like that, then, the better off that team's going to be.
And like, I found too, I mean, I had a lot of debriefs with Bradley on it, and we were going over options about who to play third base and this, that. He was thrown in there, like, we kept bringing your name up, and like, Hilly's our guy. And, I mean, if I was thrown into a position where I hadn't been playing, that's a bit nerve-wracking too. I mean, you don't want to fuck up. You want to do as best you can. I mean, you're Jason Hill too. You don't want to go out there and be a fucking idiot on third base. And to me, like, but really though, to me, I felt if I can make him as comfortable as he can, because he is actually fucking really good on third base. But if you can reiterate those traits, I mean, that goes a long fucking way. Yeah. So, if I could just do, what I could to help you out, and, we got fucking Steven over there at first base, who, don't get to that because I like to throw the ball right at his fucking mouth every time.
Here we go.
I remember in Florida down in January, we were driving to the yard. You were driving us. And all of a sudden, like, there was no one saying anything. And then you just speaks up and says, boys, like, third base fucking sucks. there's fuck all to that is the shittiest position out there.
Fuck true.
Oh, well, speaking of him driving, Hilly, like, it drives me nuts, right? Because he gets in, he wants to drive, right? Sergeant behind the wheel. But like, if we're having a couple extra beers, he said, boys, come on now. Like, I want to get home because I want to have a couple of beer. And then he's like, let's go. Come on. No, we're not sticking around for another beer. All right, but if he's not driving, he's like, "What, another beer, boys? Another beer now." But then he gets in, he wants the music, right? And the friggin' songs that you put on, man. I've taken a few good ones, right? The Business, that's my new in the gym song now. But it's your rig, it's your van that we're in. It's not this van, not van number 1. It's Shane's van, isn't it? And you takes that driving seriously, but you got no patience. And you're in a bad mood every time he gets behind the wheel.
It is, because all you fuckers gets to have fucking 4, 5, 6 beer, and Shane gets to have 2.
Listen, I got the utmost respect for the drivers that we got on the road, because a lot of times
it's not us. That was established early.
Well, that's what I was saying. A lot of times Bradley has assumed that role for me, coming from Newfoundland, we're traveling, and then now Shane's on board. Shane likes to drive, so it's like, yep, here's the keys, so you can go. So listen, we'll have our few beers. The man wants to leave. The man wants to leave. Now there might be a beer in each pocket when we're going to the parking lot.
But then, no,
mine, not the drivers.
And I'll give you credit. I mean, you're fucking really good. Like Jace, Bradley, 100%. Steven takes him a fucking 40 minutes to get out the field.
Well, between autographs and the media and.
Well,
right?
The media, right? And fucking Joe Rogan wants to talk to him, and everybody's talking about that.
Boys. The beer tent is the funnest place in the world, and throughout the years you make some good friends, and you want to see them, and then you got like, come on, we're going, and then we finally get back, pull into the hotel, and then he turns from Jekyll into Hyde or whatever you want to do, right? He's the Hulk back into Bruce Banner. He's like, hey boys, who wants to have a beer? Which room are we going to? Which room?
It's shocking. You know what? I'm gonna fucking turn that around a bit, because it's true. I do get him. Like, come on, get the fuck in. Like, get in. It's time to go.
That's right. Let them know.
Yeah. Well,
leadership qualities.
That's right. Leadership.
Sit the fuck in. Shut up.
Well, first of all, that's not going to go over well, because one, I'm not shutting up in the van, and fuck you. So, but all right, boys. This has been a ton of fun. Before we wrap it all up, Bowley, and we get to see you in 3 friggin' weeks, and I can't wait for that. Big year, boys, coming up, Bowley, but big year for you, because we read off all those credentials that you got, those championships and those awards. But how badly do you want to win that WBSC in New Zealand?
You boys got one. You know what it's like. You know that feeling. I don't. And this is, that's your pinnacle. That's the pinnacle is the WBSC. So in 3 weeks' time I should say, I guess a month ago was the start. But in 3 weeks' time, it's fucking game time. It's pedal to the metal. It's working on your game. Every fucking inning, every at-bat. It's just stepping up. Keep stepping up. Keep being a team player. But it's really just fucking striving for that goal. I mean, we got ASA, ISC, all the weekend tournaments. We got nationals. It's all a lead up. But that WBSC in New Zealand is, that's your big one, right? So let's keep the ball fucking rolling. Let's pedal down. Take no fucking prisoners. Don't give a fuck about anyone. We're here to fucking win all summer. Fuck the rest of them. And that's it. That is my motto.
That's pre-game speech. That's pre-game speech right there.
See, like
right?
he had
that's Sarge. That's Sarge, and that's what we love about him.
That is. That's all you need to know. Well, if you can't rally behind that, then you're not in the right spot. And so, like you said, it's a huge season with the Chiefs. Get a chance to go and try and repeat at the ISCs. We know how special a group that is. Get the host nationals at home and try and repeat there. And then, like you said, the big one. It's awesome. Can't wait to get going with you, Boldy. Thanks for taking the time to do this. We knew it was going to be a ton of fun. You're one of a kind, one of the best. Hilly, what can we say? Another great friggin' episode, man.
Awesome, Boldy. Appreciate it, buddy.
No, boys, thanks for having me. It's fucking deadly. Let's fucking get her going, baby.
Come on, there we go. And we got Lucas and Nick here. A little bit of rum ragged to take us out.
But I'm a man now. For courting 6 girls all at once they use me. My mother said it was naughty. I should listen to her back. But I said if it's naughty, sure it's also very.
And the lollipop's his glove grabs Dalton. The benches are clearing.